Good morning, guys. It's your boy Jason of Augmented Gaming here. I promise you, this will be the last time I bring up my views on the performance issues because at this point it's just beating a dead horse. My goal is not to make these type of videos where I'm going to be targeted and get hate bombed. It's not even entertaining anymore. At this point now it's just sad. You can't you can't bring a dead mule, dead fucking camel to a oasis to drink water. You just can't do it. And some people are stuck in their ways, and it is what it is. What I am here to do is we're just going to look at the people who are waiting for the second beta or people responding to Monster Hunter's second beta on Steam. I play mainly on PC. Um, And I'm just gonna say before we get into this, first off, let's set the mood, shall we? Let's set the mood. I wish to set the mood, please. Please. Can we set the mood? No mood? No bitches? Wait, so hold on. That's weird. Anyway, so before we I'll just say like before we start, I'll start reading these comments. Understand, I'm not the type of person who's happy when I'm proven right about something that I know. It's not something that I'm excited for. I don't get off on it. Um my personal view is I think the people who ask for the top end of bleeding edge technology for gaming are idiots. I think people who don't grow gaming and they're okay with subpar performance are idiots. You have PlayStation fanboys out there who even they say people who sit there and say, "Oh, well, I get 30 FPS on my PlayStation 4." And the crazy thing about that, mind you, PlayStation fanboy said, "That's crazy because that's last generation." Bro, people were able to play 60 FPS back then, Xbox 360. Back then, 60 FPS existed during the GameCube era. Now, 30 FPS looks better on console. This is a fact. This is a fact. The way that they have it set up on console, again, it's better. But I'm just going to sit here and say it. 30 FPS is completely fine if you want 30 FPS. If it's not a competitive game, absolutely. But if you are playing a racing game, if you are playing a shooter, if you are playing a game like Monster Hunter, and yes, it's competitive because you want to know what? Again, not only are you competing against other people for time, records, all of that, and you're also trying to take down a monster quickly, you also need to get all of the information that the game is throwing at you. Excuse me. You need to get all of the information that the game is throwing at you. And if you think that the monsters aren't trying to fucking take you out, right? You need to be as responsive as possible, especially when all this action is going on. Now the craziest thing is there's one more thing that I'm hearing now is that a content creator named Maximilian played the early final build of Monster Hunter. And everyone's saying, "Oh well, all of the FPS philosophers out there, they don't they're all silent now after watching the video." My man is playing Monster Hunter Wilds in 4K at 30 FPS. 30 FPS should not be the standard. And the reason why it shouldn't be the standard at this point is because 30 FPS, okay, let's put it like this. If developers worked on their game to get the full 60 FPS, I'm not asking for 144. I'm not asking for 200. I'm not asking for my refresh rate, which is 400 FPS. No one's asking for that. I would never even do that. Even if I had the top end shit, which I could get, I still would not push a computer that. Okay, PC gamers, actual legit PC gamers, are not graphic whores, which the PC elite race, all of that stupid shit. The reason why PC gamers are tried and tested and battle hardened and we do the shit that we do is because we get the most efficiency out of our rigs. We want the best efficiency for what we do. Competitive gamers on PC don't even turn their settings all the way up. So if you don't have the choice and you gotta play with frame generation on, which by the way, if you're trying to play frame generation with less than 60 FPS stable, Nvidia and AMD warns you not to do that. It's not meant for that, and it's going to cause a lot of problems. So all of this fucking cope that I'm hearing about, oh, just turn on frame generation, no, stop it. Again, I can run the game just fine and play it with all of the stuttering and know that I can do reasonably well. I'm looking out for the people who I know can't. Because it's not an excuse to use AI to fake frames and then they're having a bad time. I don't want this game to fail. Anyway, let's get into the fucking comments. Announcing Monster Hunter WoW second beta text. Oh shit, I know. Okay. Guperos, I don't know how to say his name. How do you say it? Gupercos is back. I haven't seen. Hello, old friend. Guperos is the monster that I was telling you guys before. If you was listening to me, playing it back on the PSP. This little asshole had poison. He had a rubber tail. I forgot what his weakness was. It might have been fire, but I know that it was the one monster that would play dead. So if I remember correctly, he had poison. He had on his nose a crystal that he would and flash you. And I remember playing this asshole. Me and this asshole was just dueling one day and watching the game cheat me, literally cheat me. I have low health. He has low health. He flashed me, took a step, flashed me, took a step, flashed me, took a step, and then hit me. It was the craziest shit I've ever seen. I was just like, yo, I literally just got outplayed and cheated. He also plays dead, and if you get too close to him, he'll try to like hit you. He'll try to hit you, and you take double damage, damn near triple damage. Again, you can sit there and try to. You can't try to sit there and say I'm not a legit old school hunter. If the monster existed back then, I may not remember the name exactly. Actually, yes, it was weak against fire because I had the Raphalos sword. But yeah. I may not remember the monsters' names exactly, just like there was a Elder Dragon that was a chameleon. I may not remember the monster's name exactly, but I could tell you how to get around that bit if I fought him. Anyway, nice. Hopefully the lack of optimization won't deter too many from the final game. Are you thinking of a nice yellow bikini set for the Raytheon? What? Please add sexy skins like in Sailor. Man, they not doing that. They already got body type A, body type 2. You already know. They already still going woke. But anyway, are you thinking of a nice yellow bikini set for the Raytheon? Absolutely. Shit. If it's DLC, so y'all kids will never know what it was like to not have guaranteed drops. You know how hard it was to find a Raphalos plate back in the day? There was people that never got it. The drop was so fucking rare, you could not get a Raphalos plate. People that got Raphalos plates was congratulated in the Starbucks where we played. Anyway. Whoever's waiting for the improvements to be made for the second beta, relax. They won't be presented. Wait for the full release and remember, no pre-orders. I'm not translating that. Did you focus on tweaking the game, optimizing it, focusing on customer requirements, and to stop paying a useless actress? Stop paying a useless actress? Who? Who's he talking about? Is he talking about the girl who looks like that girl from Game of Thrones? The strong girl, the strong knight girl? Bruh, man. How do you say that? Gapricos is boring as fuck. I think that's how you say it. I can't remember. I gotta hear it one time. Did you focus on tweaking the game, optimizing it, and focus on customer requirements and to stop paying a useless actress? Bruh, get a life. Pre-orders are clearly down on their estimates for them to do a second beta, and rightfully so. Remember, guys, I was told straight up, they people don't see the game suffering from sales. You think that you're too fucking big to fail? What do you? I, the, I don't even know if this is console player mentality where it's like they get whatever that they whatever slop that's handed to them, they just eat it up. There's no such thing as too big to fail. We're seeing this with Ubisoft. They're about to go fucking bankrupt if they haven't already. They're under. They're under. We see this with EA. They're cutting jobs left and right. You, you have we not seen what happened to Cyberpunk? And I love Cyberpunk. In fact, I was running Cyberpunk on a 1050 Ti laptop, played it to completion, faithfully, played it to completion, bugs and all. Don't get me wrong, I was lucky I didn't run into any really game-breaking bugs. I saw some T-poses here and there. I didn't fucking sit there and boast to other people, oh, well, you need to understand. I think I played it, it had like 43 FPS. But I understood why it would have 43 FPS. I understood why, right? The thing about Cyberpunk is when it came out, you had cards that was a year old, 2 years old, that was able to run the game at acceptable frames, even though Cyberpunk is very demanding. You was able to get solid 60 FPS in Cyberpunk with 2-year-old cards. I was running a way older card than what was out at the time. You didn't see me get on my high horse and tell people, oh, well, if you can't get 60 FPS, it's because you're rigging. You need thermal paste on your balls. I would never do that. I understood. What I accepted may not be what other people accept. And that's 100% fine. Again, I'm not this fucking, I need to have this crazy FPS all the time, full graphics maxed out. For fuck's sake, I owned the Steam Deck. Then I got me a ROG Ally X. But again, you know what I'm saying? Come on now. Come on now. Like, is anybody thinking here? Like, you do understand that you're not going to be able to play Monster Hunter WoW for another 3 years. We're going to need new handhelds. And I'm sorry, I hate to break it to you. I prefer playing Monster Hunter games on handheld. Even though World is my favorite Monster Hunter, next to Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, the first one, Monster Hunter Freedom Unite. I played Monster Hunter Freedom first. Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, before they changed the name of the cats to Palicos. Don't know why the fuck they did that. And your cats actually was able to fight. Monster Hunter World is great. Monster Hunter World's even better on the go. You know what I'm saying? I just need you guys to understand something. I used to play Monster Hunter in a Starbucks. I used to wake up in the morning and my boy, the one who wouldn't bust a grape in a fruit fight back in the day, this motherfucker walked 40, 50 something blocks from his house all the way up to the Starbucks where I was, and we would play Monster Hunter until like fucking 4 o'clock. So I would wake up at like 7 o'clock, get in the Starbucks, and we would just hang out in Starbucks, getting all the drinks that all the people didn't get. Soon as the drinks they didn't get it, they brought them right to us. We were, man, VIPs in that bitch. And we would play on the Wi-Fi. Back in the day. That's how it was, bro. That's how it was. Anyway. But yeah. 3 more years before people can play Monster Hunter WoW's handheld. That's fucking crazy. And the funny thing is the cope that you're hearing right now with the Switch players, you got the Switch players like, yeah, boy, Switch 2 is coming out. We're going to be able to play Monster Hunter WoW. Man, I remember when Monster Hunter World came out, the handheld players, the Nintendo users were not happy about it. And they were trying to shit on Monster Hunter Wild. And they made up every excuse, and I'm like, look, Monster Hunter World does have less monsters. This is just a fact. I forgot which Monster Hunter that they were playing. I think it was the one that came out at the time was The one where one of the weapons was like a barrel or something. Like there was a weapon that I don't think exists anymore where you could shake a barrel and use some. It was some goofy shit. But I don't know why that. You think I'm lying? I'm telling you, there was a weapon where you can shake up a barrel, some stupid shit, and they was basically trying to shit on World. But there's a reason why World, even though the Monster Hunters that they played was more accessible, was more it was cheaper. There's a reason why World is Capcom's best-selling title. There's a reason behind it. Because every one monster that was in Monster Hunter World was literally like 5 or 6 monsters from these portable versions. So, now we got technology for the handheld versions. Someday we'll be able to play WoW, and by the time that we're able to play WoW, another Monster Hunter will be out, and we can't play that one. Anyway, performance was only good for me in the last beta because of DLSS and frame on. Yet the flip side of this, the flip side is using this tech is the visual downgrade. Generally, the downgrade isn't too bad, and games like Cyberpunk still look fantastic. WoW, on the other hand, at times looks severely low res, and I'm hoping for much better with the next beta. We'll see. Edit. I probably should have read the dev post before skimming over it, but please be aware that these improvements will not be reflected in the second beta test. Oh, okay, so the second beta test is not what people were saying that it was going to be better. Again, there is another version that apparently Maximilian got his hands on because he and Capcom are cool. But the man was playing in 4K. My man was playing in 4K at 30 FPS on a PS5. I mean, again, playing at a lower frame rate, if you got to accept playing at a lower frame rate, either you play it at a lower frame rate because you know you getting away with murder, like you're playing it on a handheld or some shit, like you're playing on a Steam Deck or something. You should be able to lock everything at 30 and hopefully play your cinematic PowerPoint presentation. Again, I play games all the time at 30, well, not 30 FPS. I play games at like 45. But the people who don't, like there are legit people that they do not care what the FPS is on a game. If it feels good, it feels good to them. There are some people that do not know the difference between high frame rate and the shit that they get from their consoles. There's other people that they do not, they purposely, anything that a person who is stating they want better, they're not trying to hear that. Like they're fighting a console war and they weren't even born during the console wars. You feel me? What I'm trying to say here? They go here, but they don't even go here. They're still fighting a console war. The console wars is dead, bro. It's been dead, and you weren't even alive for it. Anyway, let's go. I got massive performance problems with heightened specs due to the lack of DLSS and FSR. And even the flash bug, went inside the camping tent to change armor and weapons, made the game unplayable for me because the only fix was to restart the game after the second or third time. I don't want to start all over again. I guess wasn't it just my rig? It was just my rig that was fucked up, wasn't it? I got a friend with a 5,000 family graphics card, NVIDIA graphics card. He's not happy about it either. He has way better frames than I do. He's still not happy. You think he's happy? Because the way he's looking at it, just like how I'm looking at it, if I want to stream the game, it's going to be painful. It's going to be painful. Oh, look at this. Look at this. So the guy who said pre-orders are clearly down on their estimates for them to do a second beta. Your card is bad. I was running 100 FPS max settings on a. Get the fuck out of here. You was running 100 FPS max. Okay? So you was running 100 FPS max on a 48 of Super with frame generation on though, right? Not raw, right? Like raw, my shit is like 65, but it dips, right? My computer actually does better with frame generation off. Isn't that crazy? And I wouldn't have it any other way. 10 clown 10 clown fucking points. Good job, dude. Please, Capcom, give us the character editor as a standalone version to always work on your character. That's actually a pretty good. Yeah, sure, I would like that. Please note the adjustments, including performance, weapon changes, hit stop, quality of life improvements, and more, will not be present or reflected in the second open beta test build. But you can give it to you can give your real version to your content creators, right? Fun fact: Maximilian just started playing Monster Hunter during Monster Hunter World. Not hating on the dude, I enjoy his content, but I'm just pointing it out there. Some people call him Max a Shillian. I've never done that. I've never done that. He's in the game for the love of the game, but just gonna point that out there. What's the point of the testing apart from trying to lure in more revenue? Only upside of the second beta will be that we'll see more low poly memes. It just proves that you don't care about the PC players. And this is the thing that's so crazy. How many fucking times have these developers and the publishers, because I'm pretty sure, how many times have the devs and publishers, I'm gonna just put them together, though they are separate, the publishers and these shareholders disrespected their player base, because this is what it is. It's disrespectful to their player base. I hate to say it to the PlayStation boys or the console players and all of this shit. PC gamers have been holding it down. When shit needs to get done, PC players unite in ways that even has Sony bending the knee. Helldivers. When the Sony ponies was sitting there saying, "Oh, why can't you just enjoy your shit?" while they're bent over by Sony, PC was like, "Fuck no, we're not doing that." And it wasn't because they wanted extra rights. It was because they felt they were being disrespected, because they had a rug pull done on them. They were doing more good for the console players than even the console players were doing. And then the Sony ponies even tried to sit there and try to make it seem like as though they were the ones that was holding the player base for fucking Helldivers. When in fact, it wasn't even 50-50. And I'm talking about Sony to PC, it wasn't even 40-60. It wasn't even 30-70. That bitch was damn near 18-80. That was PC holding down Helldivers in terms of its player base. And you know what? Helldivers could have been an amazing game. I clocked out after they started doing all of the woke bullshit like a lot of us did. Don't disrespect us. Sitting there saying frame generation, there's a lot of people that will not want to use frame generation off the jump. People that are much more knowledgeable than any video that you're going to see on YouTube about frame generation. Naturally, I don't want to use anything that is a crutch that could affect my gameplay. I just don't want to do it. Please add sexy skins like in Celeblade. Just wait for the mods. Why would you give him a clown award? It's true. Have you seen Monster Hunter with mods? Monster Hunter World with mods? You got people using the long swords, and you got like every time they swing their sword and they do a spirit charge, you see like a flow of water. It's like some Age of Wushu nonsense going on over here. Let's see. What is that picture? Classic Asian dev moment that is stuck in the past. Why even do a second test when there will be no fixes in it? The point of the test is supposed to be testing the fixes, optimizations you made, and get feedback on it. Then work on fixing the new issues before launch. True. This is the equivalent of shooting yourself in the foot and then complaining your foot hurts like hell. Unless they can't iron out the performance issues and just pretending like they have something in hopes of getting more pre-orders. Personally, I probably will skip on this title and wait for a major discount. Or by the time we get up to like the 57 series, well, everyone start. Listen, bro. People should not. If you have a 1-year-old rig, you should be able to play games for the next 3 years. If you have a 2-year-old rig, you should be able to play games for the next 2 years. Right? You should be updating your rig. If you have a laptop, it's a little bit quicker. If you have a desktop, you shouldn't be updating. But laptops generally, you should be trying to update your laptop every 3.5 years, 4 years. Right? This is if you're a gamer. If you're not a gamer and you're just using like a laptop like I do, you should not be updating every single fucking year for games. So, and yes, laptops are a little bit weaker than desktops, but not by as much as it used to be in the past. A year old laptop, a year and a half year old laptop should not be not able to hit 60 solid without frame gen. That shit is crazy. That shit is crazy. Anyway, I already got burnt with Stalker 2, trusting devs and receiving barely working product that was only unfinished. Hold on though. Do not throw Stalker 2 under the bus. I don't even play Stalker. They made that game in the middle of a war zone. One of the developers who were making Stalker stayed back to continue working, or no, I'm sorry, he actually participated in the war and lost his life. I wouldn't give a shit if they gave me Monster Hunter Wilds at the performance that it is. You gotta respect them. You gotta respect it. They can, just like all of the other fucking people sit there and say they could patch it later. Don't sit there, just use frame generation. Just go use frame generation, bro. Don't stop it. Nah, he has a right to not like it, but you get what I'm saying. Please, guys, just cancel your pre-orders. They wouldn't be here today without paying customers. Therefore, they need to see the backlash to this other than forum posts and comments. Hit them where it hurts. We pay, we say. It's true. It's true. Where's my crouching shot? How you give him a Jester thing? He like the crouching shot. What a useless polished shit. There's no point in the second beta because performance fixes and gameplay improvements are not included in it. And you would give it to us when the game is almost released? I swear, Japanese developers are always on some cracks. Yeah, Capcom has been known to do stupid shit. Case in point, they tried to turn Resident Evil into Devil May Cry. And the people was like the devs was like, what the hell are you doing? What are you doing? You can't turn Resident Evil into Devil May Cry. You can't turn Resident Evil into a guy walking around fighting demons. They're completely two different genres. Capcom was like, no, do it. And it was like, no, we're not fucking doing it. Guess what Capcom did? They got rid of damn near half of the fucking people that worked on it. Devil May Cry eventually came out. Then when Resident Evil was this big fucking thing, because it was very popular back then. It exploded the survival horror genre. Then when Resident Evil Outbreak came out, and it's a cult fucking classic, everyone to this day is still asking for Resident Evil Outbreak style games from Capcom. They won't do it. They want to do action games now. They don't give a, they are on some, Capcom has always been the Japanese company that are hard-headed as fuck. If Capcom did not have Street Fighter, they probably would have went under a long time ago. And even Street Fighter, remember when Street Fighter 5 came out? How bad of a state it was in? No pre-orders. Woo, somebody going crazy. Oh shit. This one is a safe pre-order. Average New Yorker, go figure. New map or still on desert? I totally hate desert, it's boring. A lot of people are saying that Monster Hunter World graphically is better than Wilds. That's not true, but I do understand that they like the aesthetic of World much better than Wild. It's a different art direction. It's crazy because I haven't played it myself exactly, but as long as the game doesn't look like shit, I don't care. But from what I'm hearing, you turn that frame gen on, that shit turned to poop. Anyway, here we go. Your card. So this is the person that said pre-orders are clearly down on their estimations for them to do a second beta, and this is because the performance is bad. And the person said your card is bad. Your reading skills is bad. I have a 47 and I was running at 100 FPS with max settings also. I assume you were not running native and indeed enabled DLSS and frame gen. And with that, visual issues arise. Whether you care to admit it or not, the visual quality was absolutely not there. And this has been mentioned by many 400 series users. Capcom's implementation of DLSS was poor, and this has been noted over and over. And given the next beta is the same build, expect more of the same complaints to come. Listen, I'm also hearing I don't want people to think that when somebody has a differing opinion that I'm just disregarding them, unless it's 100% bullshit. I know that there's individuals out there that genuinely do feel a certain way, and they're not trying to be assholes. I also know that there's individuals that are just assholes. There was a guy who said, um, as long as it's not slop, he doesn't care if the game is unoptimized. I'll say counterpoint. Absolutely. And I even mentioned you should go play a game called Dragon's Dogma. Dragon Dogma apparently had a bunch of awards. It wasn't the super groundbreaking game, but everything that it did was pretty well, but it was unoptimized. Go play that. No problem. When it's on sale, go play that. And this is me just being me. I'm not an asshole. But again, forcing frame generation on people, not cool. And then when I had to explain to somebody FPS is important for certain games, especially under Capcom, you guys do know in Resident Evil 2 Remake, Jerkins, what's his the dude who gets the fucking eye on his shoulder, and he's Birkin. You can kill Birkin much more efficiently by using a knife than a gun. And to achieve this, it's locked to your FPS. Your FPS in video games, it's how the game interacts with you, and it's how you interact with the game. If your FPS is low in a lot of video games, you actually move slower. So if you're playing any type of game that requires you to have a decent FPS or a stable FPS, and the game is communicating that with you, and you're not able to respond properly to the game, it's just a bad time. But anyway, the way that it worked was the higher your FPS was, the more damage of the ticks of the motion, because Capcom does have this thing when it comes down to motion, and it's actually in Monster Hunter as well. Slower attacks that have a bigger swing or whatever, and it's slower, does more damage. I forgot exactly what it's called, but anyway, something applying to the way it applied to Resident Evil was the higher your FPS was, the more damage the game counted and calculated with your knife. You could not do the same thing if you had a lower FPS. Just saying, this is also Capcom. This is Capcom. I have a 47. I was running at 100 FPS. The visual quality was absolutely not there, and this has been mentioned by many 400 series users. Capcom's implementation of DLSS was poor, and this has been noted over and over. And given the next beta is the same, okay, so I read all of that. Okay, 10 out of 10 fan surface before the game comes out, so people maybe pre-order, maybe to test out the new 500 series. This is kind of what I wonder, right? Like these devs who be making these games. Are you making these games with the brand new cards in mind instead of what people already have? I'm not sitting there saying you need to be 3 years in the past. I'm sitting here saying the card that most people are using right now is the 3070. You're not even trying to give the people with the 30 series graphics card a chance. How you... Man, we used to sit there and we used to shit on Crysis. Remember Crysis back in the day? You had to have a computer with the specs from fucking NASA to even get 2 FPS? Man, take care of your health, employees. How can a simple trailer get your mini crown follow? I don't even know what the hell. Okay. This beta alone will do better than current Dauntless. Dauntless killed Dauntless. The first one was a load of horseshit for every platform, even top spec PCs. And you expect people to still play the second beta with no performance, fixed game crashes, bug fixes, or nothing. If you want to make that dough, you really should have implemented it in the second beta of you made any what? Anyway, instead of making people buy the game if they're dumb enough to see if your improvements are worth the wait. I can see many people getting a refund on their pre-orders as somebody was angry when they wrote this, as there have been improvements over the first to showcase it, but it's clearly not. Whoever your marketing CEO is shouldn't be sat at their desk anymore, as this is just awful. And bro, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Capcom's marketing team is ass. when it comes down to Monster Hunter. Not only are they ass, they are 100% corporate. They will poke. Okay, so again, it is not a surprise. I do not like Monster Hunter Rise. Right? I'm sorry. I don't hide that. I don't give two shits for Monster Hunter Rise. Right? I don't. I don't give two shits for Monster Hunter Rise. It can exist just like Monster Hunter Stories. Not my games. I don't bash you for liking Monster Hunter Rise. It's not my shit. But if you ever sit there and try to put down World over Rise in my presence, I shut that shit down. Don't do that. Don't do that because I don't do it to you. Don't do that. Right? You want to play your anime weeb shit? Go play your anime weeb shit. But don't fucking sit there. All right? I like the B team Monster Hunter games, not Rise, especially after I played World. I'm not a World glazer. World is just the pinnacle of where Monster Hunter is at the moment. Now, I don't know how to put this properly. Hold on. The marketing team for Monster Hunter, they know people didn't like Rise. They tried to make it seem like Monster Hunter Rise was like World. And people who were stupid enough to fall for it and didn't do their due diligence, I feel for you. I really do. Because they bought Rise and they were like, yo, what the fuck is this shit? Now again, there are people that genuinely like Rise. One of my favorite games is a game that people don't like. It's called Deadly Premonition. That game is ass. The story's amazing, but the mechanics of the game, the sound of the game, it's ass, right? I understand that people don't like that game. They didn't upload any new shit for World or anything like this. And what these motherfuckers started doing was putting news about Monster Hunter Rise on top of the Monster Hunter World page. It was the most disrespectful shit I've ever seen. When I tell you, they're fucking straight corporate, bro. They listen. They trying to make them sales. That's it. And the thing that's so crazy about it is they did this shit like no less than like 14 fucking times. Every single time they were trying to push some bullshit for Rise, like a DLC, like a DLC or not a DLC, but like yeah, whenever that there was like a DLC on sale or trying to like whatever that the fuck it was, they would always put that shit right on fucking World's page. Mind you, Monster Hunter Rise has its own page. Monster Hunter World has its own page. And every single time, 2 to 3 was motherfuckers being like, yo, get this Rise shit out of here. We don't want to hear about fucking Rise. We don't want to hear about Rise, bro. They didn't give a fuck. I've ordered myself a new rig for Wilds. Can't wait to test up. Listen, if you buy a new rig for a brand new game, that is 100% your prerogative. You are free to do that. But when is enough enough? When is enough enough? If your specs is not bleeding edge, right? And here's the thing. Don't you know every 3 months, whatever new rig is out is old in the PC world? They're taking away mileage. They're taking away efficiency. They're taking away the biggest boon to being a PC gamer. Getting the most out of your money. People who build their PCs, people who buy their PCs, who know what's in their computers, they know what corners are cut. They know what special things they have in their rigs. And that's what makes being a PC gamer special. Now, talking to the console players here, I know not all of you are fucking bad. I was once a console player. And the shit that never came out of my mouth was ever trying to bash PC players. One, I didn't know enough about you guys. I wasn't familiar with your game. But one thing I never did was sit there and try to, you know what I'm saying? Now, don't get me wrong. The PC elitists, I've ran into a few of them before. But they're far and in between. They're just fucking trolls. The coolest thing about being on PC when it comes down to video gaming is you literally get the best of whatever the fuck you want. If that shit is on PC or one game, I don't know why I bought a PS5 with no games to buy. keep that in mind. What was that shit called? All the games that's on console just ends up on PC eventually any fucking way. I get it, but at the same time, you can't get mad at people for wanting mileage out of their fucking rigs. That shit is crazy. And graphics cards are not cheap, bro. They're not. Unless you're buying a cheap graphic card, which again, this is another boon of PC gaming. Did you focus on tweaking the game, optimizing it, focusing on customer requirements, and to stop paying a useless actress? And what we have here is the main site says to all hunters, we can't thank you enough for joining the hunt. Our entire development team is hard at work reviewing your valuable feedback and focusing on improving the full version of the game. However, please bear in mind that these improvements, including performance, game balance, weapon mechanics, known issues, and more, will not be reflected in the new build. Thank you all for your understanding. We look forward to experience. Yet you gave Maximilian the final build before anybody, weeks ahead of... Man. Let's see. Nice. Hopefully the lack of optimization won't deter too many from the final game. Hopefully the lack of optimization will deter too many from the final game. Was this sarcastic? Because I think it's a very valid reason for not opting into a game one can't play. Seems your average sales information pitch as trustworthy as 57 equals a 49 in performance of recent NVIDIA's. Why even bother with the second test when it will run as bad as the first? My dudes, release the game first. Hope doesn't save an unoptimized game. It really doesn't. I'm telling you right now. As a person who, like I said, I played Cyberpunk to completion. I understood where I was on the food chain. And where I was on the food chain is that if you had better specs than me, I was just happy to play the game. And I would not sit there and be upset at people playing on PC who were having bad frame rates, who had 1 year, 2 year old computers. What I do know is I understand console players being upset at not having stable frames. Because let's be real, a lot of the problems from Cyberpunk, it wasn't that Cyberpunk was a bad game. The funniest thing about Cyberpunk is when Cyberpunk... Okay, listen. Hear me out before you kill me. Cyberpunk was never a bad game. Fuck it. I said it. Fight me. Cyberpunk was never a bad game. The story was always there. A lot of people think Edge Runners saved Cyberpunk. Bullshit. Cyberpunk was always fine. You know what the problem was? The problem was you had a lot of people, including PC players, that saw a trailer for a game, just like Watch Dogs, and they thought that this shit was, they got the Ubisoft special where they thought that this game was going to fucking not only cure cancer, but jerk them off at the same time. And feed them. That's what they thought Cyberpunk was going to be. And I always say, whenever you see a video game trailer after what happened with Ubisoft and The Division, and also with Rainbow Six Siege and all of this shit, the Ubisoft special, if it has not been done in the video game space yet, don't expect it until you actually get your hands on it and it exists in the industry. If it doesn't, so you had a lot of console players that were upset that they weren't able to play the game. Guess what? You want to know why? Because the console has weaker shit components than a computer. That is just a fact. Majority of computer users have better specs than the current things for than the current consoles. That is just a fucking fact. A lot of the shit they was expecting to run and the funniest thing, they was expecting to run Cyberpunk at a straight 60 FPS on console, and the devs at fucking CD Projekt Red told the publishers, yo, this shit is not cooked. We should not push this out on console. And you know what the devs said? Nah, go ahead. No, go ahead. He was like, we don't have enough time to fix it. They was like, yeah, it's okay. Yeah, they don't listen to this guy. Shareholders, we're good. And they did what they did. A lot of people that was complaining about Cyberpunk problems, right? A lot of people that was complaining for Cyberpunk problems were people who were way below the specs and console players. It's fucked up. They should have never released it on console. That's just the fact. That is just a fact of life. But, and I've noticed something. The same people who are 100% okay with 30 FPS are okay with 30 FPS games if it's a game that they like. But if it's a game that they don't like, and other people are jumping on that bandwagon, then all of a sudden it's completely fine. It's completely fine for a game to run at subpar 30 FPS in performance mode, even to buy it on the console if it's a game that they like. And it's disgusting. It is disgusting. They've been working on it, so the point is for people to see if it runs better now, obviously. Lone Sword users cursed with poor performance. Glaive users rised up, blessed with plus 60 FPS. But other than that, it seems the 5000 series NVIDIA RTX already maxed out. I guess Capcom is going to fix the issue for RTX 5000 and probably some others matters as well. I had high hopes for the second beta. Well, I can either pay for groceries, gas, or other small games, or I can buy this game and get my Wyvern ears. Tell me, does this game use the no? Oh yeah, thank you, bro. You guys are not even understanding how the Novo is going to fuck your shit up. For the people that sit there and they don't understand the shit that okay, let me put it down. I pirate games. I'm not gonna sit here in front. I pirated games before. My stance on pirated games is, if you can't afford it, buy it. If you like the game, you're gonna pay for the game. Especially when you see all of the updates that come for the game, that you can get it streamlined. Like for example, The Witcher. Remember when The Witcher 3 came out? That game had performance issues when it first came out, and it actually played like shit. But it is a good game. You couldn't run that bitch because that shit had NVIDIA Hairworks. When you saw Jared's fucking hair twirling in the fucking wind and his fucking nutsack hair was all flowing, you was able to see every strand. That shit would tank your fucking FPS when it first came out. Now it's a little bit better, because the graphics cards are way ahead now in the years. But the thing that was so funny about the fucking Witcher, God damn it, I lost my train of thought talking about the fucking Witcher. What was I saying about the Witcher? I was saying something about the Witcher. I can't go back in time and fucking hear what I said. Oh, sorry. De Novo. When it comes down to the fucking Witcher, right? The developers of the Witcher were so confident in their game, they said, yo, if you can't pay for the game, pirate it. The Witcher was one of the best-selling games of all time. And their stance was, if you have to pirate it to play it, pirate it. But if you like the game and you finally get the money, buy it. One of the most best-selling games of all time, The Witcher 3. Right? I couldn't play Final Fantasy, the one with Noctis and his friends. What is it, 13? Is that Final Fantasy 13? I could not play Final Fantasy on the rig that I had at the time until I pirated it, and the pirated version didn't have De Novo. The game was actually playable. With De Novo, the game was unplayable for me. A lot of these fucking people that sit here for De Novo and they shill for De Novo, I'm gonna just let you in on a secret. That game, Monster Hunter, is gonna get cracked immediately. So the way that crack games work is that if the game is popular but not the biggest game, it'll take a little while. But if the game is really popular and even the fucking people who crack games want to play that bitch, they're gonna crack that game. That game is I guarantee you that game is gonna be cracked in less than a week. Monster Hunter WoW is gonna be cracked in less than a week. De Novo doesn't stop anything. In fact, man, whatever. You already know. Y'all already know. One more page and we're done. The better the performance, the better the sales will go. You need to optimize the beta as well. Releasing the same unoptimized beta to the people who don't want to ready anything and just play will result in a bad impression just before the release. It doesn't actually justify you to make lines of explanations. It's really just a necessity to do. Now, mind you, I'll say it one more time. Max has the final build on he got the final build. If you want to have some good faith, maybe you should give that to the public instead of making them wait 3 more weeks. What does that say? That says a lot. So, man, that says so fucking much. That says so fucking much. They probably love to, but launch is coming up and they're probably crunching, expecting a polished demo after release, maybe. You don't think that that's gonna stagger sales? Like, okay, so for a game to do well, you need so your hardcore base is fine. They're whatever. They're always gonna be there. Your loyal your people who your intelligent fan base, the ones who can rep you and all of that shit, the ones that play all your iterations, but they're not stupid and they're tired of the shit that they see in video games with Gotham Knights, with Dragon Age Inquisition, with the bullshit that's happening with Assassin's Creed Shadow. Like every single game that they're seeing either performing like shit or either pushing shit that they don't like, they're starting to think more consciously with their wallets. These people are going to tune out, which is not a good look for Monster Hunter, because then that's gonna stagger your sales. The casuals, which is crazy, you need to get your casuals in order, because your casuals are important for your first sales. I'm telling you right now, the casuals who are buying your game, who are getting all of these stutters, and they can't even understand why they're getting stutters. They don't understand why their frames are so bad. They don't really even understand the differences between 60 and fucking, between 30 and 60. They don't even understand all of that. All they know is that they played the beta of Monster Hunter and it played like shit. They're tuning out. Your casuals are going. Which is, so I mean, I guess you're gonna have your pseudo fanatics, your shills. But all right. I'm just glad to play the character creator again. Awesome. I can't wait to run the game at 30 FPS on modern hardware. See you guys soon. It's okay. You can pay $2,000 for RTX 5090 and get 60 FPS with frame gen and AI upscaling. Ain't no fucking way. What is this? Your card is bad. So this is the person who said that somebody's card was bad and the person revealed that they have a 4070. Please sit down. Please sit back down before you hurt yourself trying to think. It has nothing to do with the specific card. Well, unless they get a 10 series card or older. The optimization of the game was literal ass, which Capcom is aware of. They even addressed it and said they would try to fix it. Try. You know what's crazy? I can play Final Fantasy Rebirth on my ROG Ally at 45 FPS stable. That game, when I played on PC, looks actually comparable to Monster Hunter Wild. I actually prefer the art style of Final Fantasy. Not a Final Fantasy head, but what I'm trying to say is gamers don't really care about graphics. So pushing like the director of Monster Hunter, I'm always gonna try to push for the literal bleeding edge of hardware. Who the fuck asks for that? People get it twisted and they only hear when I say all people want was a better world. I'm not saying make another world. I'm saying give us a game that performs like World. And yeah, World was demanding when it first came out. But you know what another thing is? People had better FPS. And people were able to play over 60 FPS stable with the current hardware. Not the new hardware, the current hardware. Come on now. I know that there's going to be driver updates. I know that they're going to really, really, really try to make some optimization because it is a huge fucking game. I don't doubt that for a second. Steam is going to pull all the stops to get that shit working. Just like how Nintendo Switch as a platform is fucking garbage, but main titles like Smash Brothers run at a stable 60 FPS with more advanced technologies than other games that run not as well because they worked on it. We know they're going to work on Monster Hunter Wilds. We know this. We just got to see. Hopefully we can make several characters. Somebody really like making characters. Brah, maybe so, brah. But never mind. Try to open Google and find out something. I will be playing on a 47 Ti Super. Do you think my experience will be similar to yours? Depends. Oh, good. No fixes from the last beta means more hexagon hunting. I mean, it's still a beta. Shut the fuck up. So if it's a beta, why would they put out the benchmarker? You fucking slop enjoy. Oh my god, you slop enjoyers. You literal fucking dookie eaters. You dookie slinger eaters. I've already pre-ordered the premium deluxe edition. I trust Capcom not to fumble this game, and I know that Capcom knows this game can't fumble, or they're gonna really feel. Bro, they weren't confident in Monster Hunter in the United States before World. What are you talking about? You know what's funny? They didn't believe in Monster Hunter World. That's the reason why there was supposed to be no expansions for it. That's the reason why at the end of the cycle of Monster Hunter, pretty much, they put out Iceborne. Iceborne, the DLC for Iceborne didn't come out until damn near 3 years later. What are you talking about? They didn't know it was going to do well. And now that they know that a lot of people like it, they're screwing the fucking pooch. Come on now. I hope they give us Echo Dragon Wave and remove heavy attacks from long, so they're not doing that. What is it? Whenever waiting for improvements to be made in the second beta, relax. They won't be presented. Wait for the full release and remember, no pre-orders. I already pre-ordered the premium edition, and I trust Capcom not to fumble the game. How are they going to feel it? I'm sorry, hold on. I've already pre-ordered the premium deluxe edition, and I trust Capcom. That's your first fucking mistake. I trust Capcom not to fumble this game, and I know that Capcom knows this game can't fumble, or they're gonna really feel it. No, not really. They're not as. Even though Capcom was a smaller studio at one point, Capcom's been on the ball. I mean, besides Dragon Dogma, a lot of their games, remakes, all of that shit is doing pretty well. They're not in the red. If they was really worried about the game failing, they would have never had done AI generation. That's 100%. They actually would have probably have worked on not making the AI carry the heavy work. They would have worked on textures, lighting, effects. They would have worked on all of that shit themselves like they did in World. They didn't do that. You want to know why? Because they saw that people like Monster Hunter World, and now they're trying to do all this extra shit with Wilds. And it's unnecessary. But that's the video. Again, no more of this. I'm not going back and forth with people anymore. We're going to try to keep it positive when it comes down to Monster Hunter or content. If you bring bullshit to me, I may check you. But besides that, I want the game to succeed. I want people to have fun. Now I'm really thinking about, because on another screen, I'm about ready to purchase the game, and I'm just like, I don't even know if I should buy this shit now. I don't even know if I know as things stand, things can get better, but we'll see. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. And also shooting the shit with me. The beta's out tomorrow. I may record some gameplay of that because I really didn't play the beta. Like, I fought one fucking monster in the beta, and then I kind of didn't do shit. Because once I fought the monster and they put me in the hub, the FPS dropped, and I literally just said, fuck this, I'm out. And I just stopped the beta. But we'll see. Catch you guys next time. Peace.